to this week's episode of MMU Classroom Heroes.
But who are the MMU Classroom Heroes?
I'm glad you asked. MMU Classroom Heroes are recent graduates of Mount Mercy University's Education Department. Through their education, these students have been inspired to discover knowledge, build community, and lead courageous lives. They have achieved this through reflective judgment, strategic communication, focusing on the common good, and purposeful living.
MMU helps students develop the ability to think clearly and carefully, to solve problems creatively and integrate knowledge across all disciplines, including the desire to serve the common good and conduct themselves in a respectful and ethical manner, while focusing on the service for the well-being of all humanity and action in the cause of justice in the world.
They have been able to achieve this through opportunities in spiritual growth, intellectual engagement, vocational clarity, social development, physical well-being, emotional maturity, and responsible community leadership.
Mount Mercy's values are lifelong learning and education of the whole person, pursuit of truth and dignity, commitment to students, justice, gratitude, hospitality, and service.
MMU Classroom Heroes are regular people who have been empowered through their education at Mount Mercy University to use their skills in the classroom. As educators, they are faced with the responsibility of teaching students the importance of treating one another fairly, especially when it comes to issues of race, women's rights, and immigration. Let's watch as 3 educators demonstrate how to be classroom heroes. All right, folks. So since we just reviewed where we left off in last lesson, let's come back to where we are in Huckleberry Finn. We're on the bottom of page 99, if you can please join me there. So Jim looked at the trash and then looked at me and back at the trash again. He had got the dream fixed so strong in his head that he couldn't seem to shake it loose and get the facts back into its place again right away. But when he did get the thing straightened around, he looked at me steady without ever smiling and says, "What do they stand for? I was going to tell you. When I got all wore out with the work and went to calling for you and went to sleep, my heart was most broke because you was lost and I didn't care no more what became of me in the raft. And when I wake up and find you back again, all safe and sound, the tears come on, and I got down on my knees and kissed your foot. I'm so thankful." So let's pause for a second here. Why do you think Mark Twain uses this form of speech in his novel? Do you like it or dislike it?
Well, I hate it. I think it's stupid. I don't know why they have to talk that way. Why can't they just talk like normal people?
Good thing I went to Mount Mercy and I know how to address things like this in my classroom.
Justice, gratitude,
Hospitality.
Service.
commitment to students.
Whee!
Your actions and words are a little rude. It's time to change your attitude. Compassion in all you do and say, because that's the Mount Mercy way. Now, Samantha, you know we don't talk like that in our classroom. We need to have compassion and empathy for all people in our learning community.
You're right, Mrs. Clausen.
So what we see here is a version, early version of exaggerated Black vernacular English. Why do you think that Mark Twain puts this into his novel? Well, today was a day that I definitely saw coming from a long ways. I knew when I started my teaching journey that I was going to have to address issues of racism in my classroom. And I feel like my experience at Mount Mercy really prepared me for that. Classes like Intro to Language and Early American Literature helped me to, specifically with texts like Huck Finn, to understand how to approach with confidence and comfort these issues of dialect and racial inequity. I really feel like one important factor as well is to not shame your students when you're addressing issues like this in your classroom. Samantha is a wonderful student who always has great things to add to our discussions. And if I shut her down in a negative way, then she'll be less likely to participate in our classroom community in the future. So there are a lot of things I've learned at Mount Mercy through my English classes, my education classes, that have helped me be prepared to handle these issues as they arise.
Okay, you guys have had 2 minutes to do this. Can anyone come up and show me how to do it on the board? Yeah, Alice.
Girls can't do math. They're not smart enough.
I know how to handle these kind of situations because I went to Mount Mercy.
Justice. Gratitude.
Hospitality.
Service.
Commitment to students.
We.
Your actions are a little rude. It's time to change your attitude. Having compassion in all you do and say, 'cause that's the Mount Mercy way.
Fred, you know this is a safe environment, and math really has no gender boundaries.
You're right, Miss Wood.
So Alice, come on up, give it a shot. Through my experience here at Mount Mercy, I have learned that women have not been given the opportunity to contribute to the math community. Through my placements here at Mount Mercy, I've also learned how to create an unbiased and friendly environment for all students to learn through values of Mount Mercy has taught me, such as service, compassion, and valuing women's education.
Okay, class, we've been looking at Ellis Island and the immigration effects that it had on the United States at that time. Can we compare that to something today? We've been looking at current events. We can compare that to maybe the border today with Mexico. Does anybody have any ideas or opinions about that? Yes, Judy.
Why do they have to come into our country anyways? Why can't they just stay in Mexico? They're taking jobs away from real Americans and putting us into poverty.
Good thing I went to Mount Mercy.
Justice. Gratitude.
Hospitality.
Service.
Commitment to students.
We.
Your actions are a little rude. It's time to change your attitude. Having compassion in all that you do and say, 'cause that's the Mount Mercy way. Well, Judy, that's an unfair statement, because aren't we all immigrants?
Good point, Teach.
All right, now let's look at some of the facts. My education at Mount Mercy has provided me the opportunity to explore sympathy and empathy for other people. In our studies of immigration, throughout my history classes, throughout our education classes, I have learned that Mount Mercy values, although they may not be the same as my personal values, have evolved my own opinions and viewpoints of other people. I'm happy to say that as I graduate Mount Mercy, I've grown to understand and empathize more and more with people not only of color but of every race and ethnicity. I'm happy to say that Mount Mercy has changed my life and changed my viewpoints.
As you can see, these MMU classroom heroes were able to handle difficult situations in their classroom with respect and dignity because of their Mount Mercy University education.
Join us next fall, and you too can be
Mount Mercy.
Okay, sorry. Are you ready?
Actions are a little rude. It's time to change your attitude. Having compassion in all that you do and say, 'cause that's the Mount Mercy way.
Sorry,
Yep, that's... My education at Mount Mercy has provided me the opportunity to
Sorry.
welcome to this week's installment of MMU Classroom Heroes.
Wait, come in here.
MMU Classroom Heroes are recent graduates of Mount Mercy University. MMU Classroom Heroes are recent graduates of Mount Mercy University's crab face. MMU Classroom Heroes are recent graduates of Mount Mercy. Stop it, you're shaking.
It's your fault.
You guys are taking the lead.